Hey guys, all right. Today's going to be a little different, and it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same because I've used this Stirling Finest brush for a couple weeks now in an attempt to get him to back off a little bit with the density in the center of the brush, to try to get him to open up and splay more, to make him more comfortable, less backbone. I believe that's happened, so that's really good. I'm also going to be using the Feather AS-D2 stainless steel razor that I have been using the last couple days. The difference comes in with the Stirling soap we're going to use. This is the Stirling sheep or mutton tallow. I don't think I've tried any of the scents that are in the mutton tallow, and so I saw this sample puck on the table at a recent PIF table at a recent meetup, and I was so happy to see it because I always wanted to try, had on my list to try the mutton tallow from Stirling. The blade I'm going to put in the razor is a popular one out there, Astra Platinum, Superior Platinum or Super Platinum or something like that, and yeah, Superior Platinum. It's an inexpensive blade, I believe. It's been so long since I bought them, I think that's right. And it does have those pesky glue bumps. You can see those right there. Astra Superior Platinum. It does usually very well in about any razor that I put in it. So it's a good match for me. So it's nice to be a good match and cheap. This one's had 16 uses. Yeah, something like that. You can check the description for the exact count. Sometimes I'm one off because I forget to put a dot on or something like that. So there we go. Now, little update from the past. I used this for about 15 shaves, Stirling Responders for Life, and it was a limited edition, and it smells like Tom Ford's Gray Vetiver, and I'm a big fan of that scent. Another soap that smells like that is Fine Accoutrements Fresh Vetiver, and since it's pretty much the same scent, love that one too. I like Fine soaps, and unfortunately I just over the last couple days received the word that they are discontinuing the soap pucks, just the refill pucks, because apparently they're not all that popular. It looks like most people are buying it in the plastic tubs. The refill pucks go in the ceramic bowls that they have, and I really like those. I love a ceramic bowl, whether it's the one I have, or Mitchell's Wool Fat or Tobacco. Just enjoy those ceramic bowls. It just gives a good vibe to my shave. And so I was sad to hear that they're phasing out those pucks. I did communicate with Mr. Fine himself, and he did confirm that. The combo of the soap bowl and the puck just didn't sell. It met their expectations of what they were trying to do. And they've had that available for at least a few years, ever since I started shaving back in 2017 in this type of way. And so I'm really sad to see that go. Looks like you'll still be able to get their awesome soaps in the plastic tubs that they offer, and those are about $4 more than just the refill puck. But I did manage to order some of those nice ceramic bowls before they are going to go out of style. Or now I don't know if he's going to keep the ceramic going. Maybe, I don't know if he has a large stock of those or what. But I know that he said that the pucks are going to be discontinued or are discontinued, and I don't think you can find too many on his site. And some of the ones from Maggard Razors have already disappeared and gone out of stock. I think there are still a few. If you have a certain scent that you like and you like to use it as a refill puck, they are a perfect fit for this shape of Old Spice, this kind of Old Spice mug. Probably all of them, since they all kind of similar. This is the Santal Absolute. Man, love it. I do have a spare puck of this, and so I'm not really worried. And besides, I think these pucks probably going to last me such a long time. I just figured out that I did the calculations. A tub of Stirling is going to last me over a year at my current usage rates. 4 nice passes of lather per shave, and this will last me longer than a year. And so that's nuts. And so I didn't need to freak out too much. I've got 2 pucks of Santal Absolute. I've got 1 puck of most of the other scents. And so that's going to last me a really long time because of all the soaps that are out there and I have. And comfort yourself, that FOMO, fear of missing out. If you are buying up a bunch of soaps, be cautious about that, because next year you're going to have more soaps to buy. There are more soaps that are going to come out that you're going to be interested in, that you're going to like. And so then you're just going to stockpile. So watch out. Don't let that get ahead of you if your budget is a little constrained. New soaps are going to come out that you're going to want to try. Sure, I do have a backup of my favorites, but that's about it. All right. Now, why do I have this? Well, I weighed it, and just now it weighed 217 grams. A couple days ago when I stopped using it, right before that last shave, it weighed 219, I believe. Now it looks like I'm using about 0.4 grams per shave, maybe 0.5. And so we've probably lost water weight because I've kept this vented. We've lost about 1.5 grams of water weight. And so as this continues to dry out, I will get closer and closer to a better usage number. I think I started with 223 grams. And so I'll be able to subtract, and I think 15 shaves and do the division and all that, and have an average per shave value, average grams per shave. So looking forward to the science of when all that levels out and I'll be able to have a good number, because I'm really curious. I know that Chiseled Face is a soap that 1 tub of that can last me about 10 months with my style. And so if you want to get the most out of your soap, then my style may be a good one to duplicate for a while until you figure out your own. So with the Stirling 15 uses that I did with that soap, I thought now is a good time, even though I've got some other samples I really want to jump into. I've got some Zingari Man samples that I've never tried that brand. I tried that Sandalumo from Oleo, provided by George, a generous viewer. And then there is one other one that I'm looking forward to trying that I mentioned. Oh, and I was going to jump back into Milk Steak, do a usage test on that one too. But before that, while I still kind of remember the joy I get from Stirling, let's try, because that's their beef tallow. Their standard soaps use beef tallow. This is sheep tallow, lanolin, shea butter, as you can see. Now, Stirling has 4 or 5 sheep tallow soaps. And if you go onto their website and you want to look at them in more detail, go to the soaps page, and then there is a drop down that's not the sort drop down. There's another one for keyword or category. Click on that one and scroll down to Mutton and hit it. And then it'll restrict your view to just these soaps that I'm about to tell you. Right there. Freeze frame if you want to go back and grab that, but I'm going to read it to you anyway. There are a couple of the normal scents that they did in the Mutton tallow. Port-au-Prince and Glastonbury. And that's kind of interesting because I didn't know that. I wouldn't have known it if I hadn't gone in and done that search. Obviously, I knew the three sheep ones, the electric sheep, Scots pine sheep, and just sheep. But then I was surprised to find that Port-au-Prince and Glastonbury are also in the Mutton tallow. And I was relieved because the sheep is just unscented. I'm not really interested in that. The electric sheep is lemon, citronella, and eucalyptus. Those are the strongest scents that they noted. And that's not my thing. I don't like eucalyptus too much. Citronella is the same scent in Williams mug soap. I don't like it too much, but with Williams it fades a lot, and so you get just a general soapy scent with it, and I like that. but I don't much like just a lemon soap. So the electric sheep was kind of not one that I wanted to try out. Now, who knows? Maybe you combine all those with lemon. Maybe that's a scent I might like. Maybe it's worth ordering a $3 sample from Stirling. And by the way, $3 sample looks like from Stirling. So this is the size of the samples from Stirling soap, and it's so much larger than everybody else's samples. Here is one from Dr. John's, and this is probably one I got from Maggard Razors. And this is a standard size sample. And when you use a 1/4 teaspoon, you can really maximize this guy and maybe get 5 to 7 uses out of it. Whereas this guy probably gets you more like a month of uses. I've definitely heard many people say they get a month from it. This, I imagine when they make their soap, they have these long cylinders of soap. They just do slices. And so this is actually the same size as if you order the Stirling refill puck, then the size is just it's gonna be this size here, but then just thicker by about like an inch or something like that. So this is the Scots Pine Sheep. Of the sheep soaps, electric sheep, I've already explained why I wouldn't maybe want that one necessarily. The other one is sheep is unscented. I mentioned that. So this is the third one and last of the sheep specific soaps. And it did say in the write-up that this does not smell like pine sol cleaner. They didn't use that word, but I'm sure that's what they meant. It's a pine scent with a little bit of oak moss. It shouldn't smell like pine sol, and I hope that's the case. I'm not going to like it if it does. I don't like a lot of pine scents, and so I was really happy to see this because I was hesitant about ordering. Now the other two, Port-au-Prince and Glastonbury. Glastonbury is a patchouli scent, and so if you like the smell of weed, kind of a dank smell, then Glastonbury might be right up your alley. I'm sure the Mutton tallow is going to perform well. Glastonbury also has some other notes, lavender, oak moss, frankincense, vetiver, a couple other ones in there. And I might order a sample of that one. I like a little bit of patchouli. This may be kind of overwhelming, but a sample is just a few bucks from Stirling. And so that might be worth it, especially if I happen to like it, because I definitely like vetiver quite a bit. And the combination of the lavender and patchouli and other things, it's possible that that could be a favorable combo. The Port-au-Prince I have tried, but only in the form of an aftershave splash. It was a little too strong for me, a little too harsh, spicy. Don't know exactly which scent was kind of triggering me not to like it all that much. I had a sample of that aftershave. However, I've also found that a lot of scents I may not like as an aftershave. I may not like to walk around with it for hours, but I might enjoy it actually during the shave. So maybe I might pick up another $3 sample of that one too. So those are the Mutton tallow soaps. And so this is going to be my first shot at the Mutton tallow. So I'm going to take my 1/4 teaspoon measure. I've already kind of cracked open the cellophane here, the plastic. And let me tell you about this plastic. It's not scent impregnable. It is permeable for the scents. And so if you order a bunch of Stirling samples, then don't stack them together, because the scents will bleed through each one and the strongest one will win, and they'll all kind of end up smelling like the strongest one, or at least its strongest neighbor. And so maybe put them in individual Ziploc bags or just separate them with space if you have that option. All right, so now I'm going to spread this puck chunk into the bottom of my lather bowl. All right, well, here we go. And you'll notice that this is my Roger Quintero bowl, and I helped him design it. I helped just a little bit. 90% of it is his design and his great work. He printed it for me, and I'm very grateful for that. And he aligned the spines. I told him that I found this out because of what he had done. He didn't put straight radial spines there. He put curved ones, and I realized that I generally do a counterclockwise motion. So he switched them around to reverse in a way that works with mine. His thought and his hope was that the spines being curved this way would lead the lather to the middle, so that it can kind of have a cycling motion. I don't think it actually does that, but it looks nice. And so I put, because of my rotation in this direction, I've made sure that I put soap in the on the right side of the spine so that the brush would contact it more during my normal spin cycle. All right, so that's a 1/4 teaspoon of soap, maybe just a hair more than a 1/4 teaspoon. Since this is a different formulation than the beef tallow, you can't assume that the same amount of soap will work for both the formulations. Possible I should use more, but let's just start out with a 1/4 teaspoon. All right, the brush has had plenty of time to soak, that's for sure. I had to go take a break and check a text message and do stuff. So I had to come back, shaking most of the water out, as is my custom with this guy. This is a dense brush. If you have a 3D printer or access to one, the files are free to be able to download the plans for this, to be able to print them on your 3D printer or submit it to a certain online service. But definitely some out there that are super expensive, like 60 bucks. And you can choose different materials. I believe plastic PLA was what was used for this one. But I can't recommend a service. Somebody, a viewer once printed out one of these guys. I think Alan printed one out. If anyone printed one out and used a service and it was a modest price, I'd love it if you posted in the comments, and I'll try to write it down so that I can recommend that to people. You should hopefully be able to get it printed for about, oh no, you know what? I think he had a friend print his, so maybe that he's not going to be a good one for, people who don't have nerdy friends. I think $30 might be a reasonable price for an online printer to do it and then ship it to you. Well, everything's looking great. We've got this pasty, dry lather, relatively dry. I mean, it is kind of wet, but so we're going to add that. I do have hard water at this location, and at this time of the year, it is cool. But by the time I stir it and get it on my face, it's probably going to be lukewarm, and that's all right. I do definitely smell that kind of pine scent coming up. No, it's not like pine sol. That's a relief. There was one, Ballenclaw, is a Nebraska maker, and he had one that was a piney type scent, and man, yeah, it just smelled exactly like pine sol to me, and it just wasn't something that I enjoyed. Had to pass it on to somebody else who liked that. I grew up in a house with pine trees instead of nice deciduous trees, and so I kind of have a loathing for pine trees because they were hard to climb. Branches were never low enough to enjoy in that way. When the branches would fall, they were soft wood. You couldn't use them too much for making spears and swords and playing with, not like the hardwoods. But mostly you just couldn't climb them. Trees were so rough. Now, one good thing is the bark could kind of be peeled off, and so I had a target for my throwing stars, so I could throw them in there and it wouldn't hurt the tree, because the bark would slough off at some point. It's got a nice, good looking lather that's coming up. We've got 2 teaspoons in it, and the drag that I feel with the brush is kind of telling me not to quit adding water yet. We'll see if that's a good thing. See if that's a reliable indicator. Mutton tallow. So other famous mutton tallows, you've sheep tallow, lanolin type things, Mitchell's wool fat. Cold River Soapworks in the past several months released a sheep tallow I think Haslinger, yep, Haslinger Shaft Milch, I believe is at least that's the way it's spelled in American, in you know, the way it looks like if an American would roughly try to pronounce it. Probably Shaft Milk is maybe how it really is. Yeah, it's starting to not drag quite so much. Let's just take a look at the lather, kind of bring it all down to the bottom and then swoop it up. Ooh, nice. Look at that. Often that type of globular nature, the roundness there instead of pointy spikes and valleys and ridges, is a very good sign that you're super close, at least with the way I like my lathers. I did just take a shower. I don't usually take it before. But wow, that looks really good. This nice gloss to it. It looks like some of those premium bases by Barrister and Mann and Declaration Grooming. That's the appearance. All right, so let's feel of it. Yeah, it's pretty slick. And it doesn't have tons of cushion, so I think I'm going to stop, not add any more water. So that's almost 3 teaspoons. Looks like 2 2/3 basically is what I felt like adding at that last bit. So let's just stir just a little bit more, make sure it's consistent. Probably is by now. And this lather is not quite as high structure as their normal beef tallow. Maybe that's one of the reasons it resembles some of those newer premium bases. All right, the water on my face. Probably 24 hours since my last shave. I'm gonna jab this is a dense brush, and so I need to make sure I get lather in the middle of the brush or it just kind of quits pretty soon and I have to go and relather and feel the backbone of the brush and all that stuff. I think the oak moss was a good add for this scent. It's not super strong, so it's not bothersome even if it was something a little annoying. Brush is liking this lather. Being nice and soft for me. Yeah, plenty of lather here. Looks like this is a good formulation. I definitely don't need to go any thicker. Keep scrubbing just a little bit more to really clean the skin, although I just took a shower, so maybe I don't need to. But to also make sure that lather just connects with your skin. I like to use the word bonds with it, because that's where it's going to protect you the best. Some of the drier lathers have a tendency to just sit on top of your skin, and they'll work, but not as well. They'll provide that slick protection against the blade. All right, well, this lather looks great. It feels good on the face. Now the feather here, it has done really well with feather blades, tremendously well. In fact, it was developed after the feather blades had been made for many years, and so I'm pretty sure that since it's the same company, they specifically designed this razor to work well with the feather blades, and it's a very mild razor. And so other blades tend not to work as well. They feel smooth, they feel slick and comfortable, but then by the end of the shave, I don't have as good of a cut in my neck area, sometimes in my cheeks, but usually my cheeks get okay. It's an easy area to shave. And so with this one, what you need to look out for is not an aggressive feel, at least usually, at least for me, but it's that end result. Make sure that it's what you want when you're evaluating the blades, not just the comfort of the shave, because that's pretty much guaranteed. that end result needs to be a nice close shave that meets your standards. So let's, I wanted to try the Astra. I'm not going to try all my favorite blades with this razor. I just kind of finished doing that with the Wolfman, and I've got a couple of other razors that I'm really interested in getting to. I know that the feather works amazing on this razor. Now, yes, we are getting a very nice, smooth, comfortable shave with this Astra Platinum. I can feel a little bit of cutting, and I do believe that I'm going to end up with a good shave on this one. Could be wrong, but it just feels like it. It feels like a good cutting action. And I love the fact that this is not an expensive blade like the feathers, but my current feather is about 40 uses old, so even since it's an expensive blade, when you do the math and itemize it out per shave, it ends up to be pretty cheap when you can get that many uses out of it. So that was comfortable. And let's hope at the end of the shave we get the closeness we want. Wow, guys. Similar to the premium soaps that are out right now, Barrister and Man, Excelsior, Holy Cow just came out with one, Sierra or something. Declaration Grooming, it has their Milk Steak, and even before that they had Icarus. And Noble Otter as well has had a new formulation for the last, I don't know, year. And they are specifically geared toward post-shave care. Well, guys, it really looks like not only does this lather have the appearance of those kinds of soaps, but I think it has that performance as well. I think this sheep tallow really lends itself toward post-shave care, because that rinse I just did, just the silky feel on my face, a tremendous feel. So maybe this is a good soap made for people with kind of sensitive skin or dry skin, at least. I know somebody online, constant problem with dry skin, so they have to choose their soaps carefully, and they like these new bases because it really helps them with their skin. So wow, very luxurious rinse. That was terrific. So in the light of this, I might definitely have to see which of the other Mutton tallow scents that I might enjoy. And yeah, this brush, I noticed the last time I used it, he's nicer than he used to be. I guess he's widened out just enough to let me enjoy him, and that's nice. So he's just going to get, I mean, he might widen out just a little bit more, and that makes him even better for me, at least. Cross grain now. Very nice glide with this soap. Now, some people do have lanolin allergies. It's definitely a component that some people's skin disagrees with. Maybe that's why I don't think they put it in their main soap base, but wow, this is terrific. I don't feel the need, I think I said this already, I don't feel the need to go any thicker than this. This is terrific. It's creamy, feels luxurious. I could go a little thinner probably. Straight razor shaver no doubt would want to go thinner than this particular ratio. So after a pass of Stirling soap, their beef tallow soap, the slickness is terrific. And I had the same glide with that lather as I do with this one. But the difference is the passes in between when I'm rinsing. Holy cow, the skin just feels silky smooth. It just conditioned. Oh man, it's night and day. So that is definitely a big difference. And I tell you, if you have tried this this base, I could see how some people would become devoted fans. Also, if you want that kind of post-shave feel, but maybe those premium soaps are a little too expensive for you, I'd consider this one. Pine and oak moss. The scent is just not strong enough to bother me at all. I probably don't have a problem with it. Like I'd probably use it if I needed to every day, you know, and enjoy I think I would enjoy the scent. It's not obtrusive. Man, this lather feels so good. I mean, look at it, it's terrific. Tons of lather. I just lathered up for my third pass. So 1/4 teaspoon, don't need that. And Barrister and Man, for instance, holy cow, definitely have to use a 1/4 teaspoon with those guys. And so this one might be maybe half that amount. So you're gonna get more shaves. It's a triple threat. You pay less for the tub. You get more per tub, 5.8 ounces versus something more like 4 ounces. And then you use less product per shave. And so it's going to last a lot longer, give you more shaves. So if you're looking for luxury at an economical price, figure out which one of these Mutton tallow scents is one that you might enjoy. Maybe order all of them. That might be what I do as a sample. I think I will try that electric sheep. And I've already got the Scots pine sheep. I don't like unscented, so I'm not going to order just the sheep. But I'll order a sample of the Port-au-Prince and the Glastonbury. And wow, just terrific. Man. All right, so third pass. Let's just see how the hair's like 3 passes. Never go against the grain right there, but with this mild razor, I sometimes can get away with it. This is my tricky spot right there. And I did not stir up any irritation. This blade may be a really good blade for this razor. And this is its 17th use. And sometimes when I use a new blade and razor combination, I feel like I want to give it a fair shake by choosing a blade that's young, because most people don't take blades as far as I do. But I feel like this is a good test, because if this razor only works well with blades that are new or within their first few uses, because it needs that extra sharpness because of the mild nature of the geometry here, then I may not be as interested in keeping it. If I know the feathers work well with it, if I can find, if half my other blades can work well with it, then I'm more likely to keep it. If I can only use it with feather blades, then that becomes a decider there. You know, does it beat out? Does it do better than some of my other razors? And to be honest, my Carve Christopher Bradley razor can kind of duplicate this feel with some of his lower settings, the lower base plates like the A and the double A. I get a great mild shave from those guys with all kinds of different blades. This guy's more picky. And so that's something to think about. as I decide whether to keep it, because after all, it's kind of a pricey razor, and I don't need to keep that. Pass it on to somebody else if if it doesn't offer me something unique for that price point. All right, so that's 3 passes, and I did do my little run from here up that way, and see, the feel on my face right now feels terrific. I'm still getting slickness. Man, that is nice. How about that lanolin? So the scent, I've been trying to, took a few seconds here to really try to get a good whiff, and the oak moss really does a nice job of balancing out what I might not like about a straight pine scent. And the description and what I mentioned earlier is exactly right. It doesn't smell like pine sol. I didn't pick up on that at all. It's almost like an amber flavor of pine, an amber tweak of the pine mixed with a little bit of the powdery oak moss. The oak moss can sometimes make certain scents smell a little bit feminine, but with this, it's coming up against a woody type resinous amber type scent, and so there's definitely no femininity, in my opinion, about this scent. Yeah, I think I do like it. Maybe a full puck of this might be nice, but wow, yeah, if you want an inexpensive soap that gives you the post-shave feel and the luxury feel, wow, this is a hidden gem. This is a treasure. The lather is just terrific. This is how much I have left over. Still a little bit left in the bowl, so you can back off from the 1/4 teaspoon if you want there. Wow. Can take water. We know Stirling's base is just going to be good, and be able to take water if you want to take it thinner. And to me, this is as thick as I would want to take it. Just a luxurious feel, and still wet, still plenty of glide for my face. I got nice protection. Let's take a look in the mirror and see. Hey, not bad, not bad. I can see length on a few hairs, and there's just enough of the tips to be shown that it is kind of typical of this razor. There's a little bit more of a dark look to that area because it wasn't cut quite as well. Now, so what am I going to do? I am going to do a touch-up and see if that fixes it. Let's see what happens. I don't really feel like going against the grain quite a bit like I did yesterday. So I'm not going to do that. This is almost like my usual. Yeah, I can feel some tenderness from having worked that area. So while this is a mild razor, I'm stirring up a little bit of irritation as I'm trying to get a close cut. Now the good news is, this is exactly what some people need. They need this mildness because of skin issues or whatever. But I think I'm more likely to pass this on to somebody else. But I'll definitely give it a good shake with a feather and just see if there's some brilliance there that surpasses some of the other razors that I have that are in this mild category. I've mentioned them previously, like the Fatip, Testina Gentile, Gillette Tech, of course the Carve Christopher Bradley with some low plates like AA or A. They all feel terrific and give me nice smooth shaves with my whole assortment of blades, not just a few select ones like this feather does. So those are going to be the competition, for me at least, for this feather. Any other really mild? Oh, the Mamba from Razor Rock. I've got both the original and the 70 gap. And so those are going to be competition as well. That's pretty stiff. Those are good players that work well with more blades. So we'll see. But I love that they came out with this razor. Quality of workmanship is excellent. It's kind of a satin type appearance. It's not been polished. The knurling here is very nice. It's grippy, but not aggressive. You don't feel like it's sandpaper going to wear away at your skin. And it's comfortable at the same time. They obviously were kind of inspired by the Gillette Tech in their design there. It holds the blade perfectly in alignment. So it's got a lot of really good things going for it. Stainless steel, that's going to last many lifetimes. So the good news is that for people who need this kind of razor, I'm glad it's out there for them. All right, well, yeah, like I said, I have a little bit of a rough feeling right here because I had to work that area kind of too many times to try to get the closeness for this blade. Cheeks feel great. Nice job there. Possible maybe on the third pass I should have done kind of what I did here on the touch-up, but I think we kind of know where this razor is headed, at least for the non-feather blades. Might just not really be worth it, or at least just leave yourself a little more length than you usually do. And if you work from home or don't have a job where that's a thing, then that might be worth it. That might be okay. All right, let's find a balm put on. So I did turn out to like the scent of the Scots Pine Sheep. So I'm really glad I was able to stumble upon that sample. I probably would have assumed based on the description that I would not like it all that much. This is Prix de Provence Balm, number 63. And it is definitely in the warm, spicy category. I think it's going to work nicely with the Scots Pine Sheep. And the scent is kind of low on the soap, so I really don't think it would conflict with about any balm you wanted to use. So yeah, I feel some stinging, so this balm needs to do some healing action here from how I had to work my neck area. So that's a nice scent. This is a vegan soap. If you buy the soap companion to this, it's a triple milled soap. Made in France, and it is a great buy. I think you can sometimes find it for $15, and you're probably looking at a year and a half worth of uses, at least the way I use soap. So that much for a year and a half of soap is a great bargain. A masculine scent, warm, a little bit of spice to it. I think it would be good for a lot of different people. If you like the more aquatics and fresh green type scents, and maybe this isn't quite for you, but I like it a lot. Told you already, but just to say it kind of again, almost 3 teaspoons of water for this lather, and I can definitely reduce that load time, so calm down this ratio a little bit so I don't have quite as much excess lather left over. But with this one, this might be a soap, as I've seen some people do, that I might use as a wash after the whole ordeal of shaving, because the feel is just that good. And so maybe an extra pass or two in the bowl might be a good thing. So I just dropped this guy on a towel. So this is kind of what he looks like after a shave. And I was a little disappointed today because I looked on Stirling's website because I wanted to do a comparison. These brushes aren't too expensive. The Stirling Finest Badger, and I think $30. This is a 26 millimeter knot. It's on a more conventional looking handle on their site, and I didn't find it all that comfortable to hold, a little too slippery for me. And so I moved it to this CravingShaving handle, which I definitely like a lot. And this obviously is the bulb shape. The fan shape of brushes looks like this. And there is a thought that the fan shape has less backbone than the bulb shape. And my theory is that how is that possible? Because with the bulb, you've got shorter hairs. The hairs stick out more in the fan, and so that means there's more strength to kind of keep the hairs from pushing over, and that's kind of the definition of backbone to me, at least. And so I was hoping to do a little comparison, to buy a 26 millimeter fan knot from Stirling Finest, and when I looked on the website, they only had 24 millimeter in the fan knot. That's this same type of knot. So that's not a fair comparison with backbone because it is a smaller knot. It has less hairs. So, oh well. I just noticed also that Stirling has gone along with Maggard the high density route, and you can get on their site. And this isn't even a high density brush, but come on, I don't need any more density than that. I really don't. And Stirling has, I think, SPD, DPS, there's some abbreviation they give it, but they're like a $50 brush or so instead of the $30 brush. $30 brush, or the 50 is the higher density knot. And so if you're interested in that, Stirling's a great company. I support them wholeheartedly. And I love their sample program. I mean, how generous is that? And I love they're keeping their base the same. They don't want to do that because they've got so many scents. They don't really want to change their base and have to redo everything, especially for people who've already have a lot of their products. Rod did say that he might change the base someday if he comes across a base that is just legendary, just pleases him so much that he's willing to do all the work to switch everything over. Plus, Stirling is known for offering value, offering lower prices for very, very good soap. And so I'm sure he doesn't want to change to some expensive, type formula, expensive base that would kind of alienate a lot of his customers. So, and I'm really happy about that. So I support them very much. No, I don't get any kickbacks or anything like that. Never gotten a free product from a vendor. In a way, I'd love to have enough subscribers to where people do send me stuff, but in a way I don't. In a way, I want to always have objective reviews, knowing that either a friend sent me something to try, or I bought it with my own money, or I traded it. I got it with my own means, and that way that my reviews are more objective and more honest, and I value that very much. All right, so now we put 17 uses on that Astra Platinum. And it's doing just fine. I'm confident that I would get a better shave with it, a more efficient shave, if I put it in another razor. The brush did really well today. I'm really happy with the way it's going. Man, that soap was a big surprise. That lather, the luxury, the slick, silky feel. It's different than just being slick. A lot of different soaps are slick, but these top tier bases are adding that silky feel to it, and this has that. And I guess that's one of the things that lanolin brings to the table, or the sheep tallow. I think those are different things. All right, so just super happy. Discovered some cool things about that soap base, and I'm just really happy about that. So it's a good shave, very good shave. I think we're good. I've already put on my balm. That's smelling nice. Scent strength on the soap while I was using it, while I was lathering, was pretty low. I'm going to say a 3 or a 4 out of 10. Lightly available during the shave. And it might be a strong scent that could be maybe a little annoying if it was in the higher strength levels. And so I think I'm pretty kind of happy with where that is. I think that's kind of fits my bill. Everybody's got different preferences, right? Anyway, there we go. I'm a happy camper. I'm all cleaned up. Thanks for watching. I hope there's something here that has helped you out. I know I sure learned something today. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care.